Good morning, traders. It's the 9th of February, 2021, 8:14:30 Central Time, and 22:14 Southeast Asia. I hope everybody's having a good, successful day, and you're happy and healthy. Let's take a look at these markets here and see what situations we have underway before they open. So here is the TopStep Trader Economics calendar. There's no scheduled events for today that would impact this combine. We're trading the $50,000 combine, step 2. This is the trader dashboard. There's our current position, winning day, biggest loser, best winning day. We are restricted to 2 contracts at this point, a target of $3,000. And this is our running balance and our trades. So that's the TopStep. Used to be TopStep Trader, and I still have a hard time not saying that. So let's look at the markets here. Basically, we are risk off in the equities, financials, mixed bag. Currencies, I'm guessing the dollar is probably weaker. Yeah. Metals, what have we got going on the gold rush? Well, a little bit of flight to safety there in gold and silver, platinum, up 0.49% gold. So we're a risk-off scenario. Our overnight trade is smack dab balanced. You can see here this is yesterday's live trading session. Value area high, POC, value area low, VWAP. See the pretty even distribution there. No real skewed kurtosis. And we're trading smack dab in the middle of it, right on basically where VWAP was sitting when the market closed. So we're not gap up. We're in no gap condition. This would suggest that if we open in this relative position, we would be expecting an open auction and probably a chop, I'm guessing. But let's look at the daily here. Well, no question about an uptrend. I don't think that's a big secret to anybody. All-time highs yesterday in the regular trading hours. Of course, they couldn't stand to let the Globex people have that distinction. And now we're at a double top, basically pretty darn close in the Globex. So there we have it. I'm going to be probably cautious today. We could have some chop. Looks like they're going to run it down. It's this is the 5-minute NASDAQ and the 5-minute ES. Now they may run it down into the open to the lower value area. You never know. Sellers have definitely been in control for most of this move here. So we will not have a real bias today. Quite possibly we'll have an open auction, which is basically a trading range, highs to lows. So in that instance, oftentimes a reversion to mean gives you the most advantageous trade location and when risk reward ratio. We'll see what we see. We will trade the market. We'll trade what we see. We'll not trade our expectation. Down at the bottom of a long tail there. Pretty light volume. This is the Jigsaw Dome. This is the Tradovate desktop platform. The the NASDAQ 20 range. The NASDAQ is currently a 5-minute. When the market opens or just before, I'll switch it to the market profile. And this is the 5-minute ES. Only things I use are VWAP, Sigma 1, 2, and 3 up and down, or standard deviations from VWAP. The market profile, which is market area, volume area high, low, and POC. And then the volume profile over here. Cumulative delta and relative volume. Let's see what we have queued up here. I was thinking about this yesterday. This is not particularly a good win-loss ratio because we have a 32-tick stop. And the break-even, which the last 3 or 4 trades have hit before we got to our target. What happens here is when we get to 22 ticks, the stop loss moves from minus 32 or 32 negative to plus 21. And in other words, 5 points. This is 8 points. This is 5 points. And that's generally not good if your win-loss ratio or your expectancy is not considerably high. If you have a whole lot of these, if you take a whole lot of these winners, you're still losing 11 ticks or 2 points in a tick. So that's not a particularly good that's not particularly good trade management. And it doesn't lend itself well to expectancy and getting the best, optimizing your trade size and risk management to achieve a longevitous time in the market. In other words, a lot of days to trade, a lot of trades to take for your edge to be effective, for lack of a better word. Anyway, I'm going to have to think about that. However, the last couple of 3 trades we were taken out here at each one of these means what I need to do is get some backtest software figured out quickly again, and need to see how many. Okay, it went to 22. Our stop came to 21. Boom, it moved back a tick. That's, a no-brainer. It's going to move back a tick, and then you're going to be taken out. So how many instances would it move back 1 or 2, say if this was only to break even? And the second profit, the second profit target was then at 32, for example, or 30, so that it was relatively close, so that you had about a 1-to-1 ratio, win-loss ratio on your stop out to your lower target. Got to give that some thought here. So they're going to fuss around here. They've just about come down to value area low from the overnight. Looking at the greater market here in a larger time frames. We may see a bit of a pullback. So remember that your mission is to manage your risk and your position sizing, because your goal is to be able to trade tomorrow. If you manage your risk and your position sizing and you let your edge develop and manifest itself through the number of occurrences that you can trade, you will have achieved consistent profitability. And that's my goal. And the goal of this channel is to develop that myself and hopefully provide some value here for others to be helped along that journey. And I'm real curious to see what's going to happen with the data here and the software. They're looking to take this thing down, and we're going 4 minutes to the open. This is just a straight up 2-lot. First, both stops at 32 ticks. First take profit at 30, and the next take profit at 40 ticks. So this is 10 points and just over 7.5, and these are 8 points. Debating whether to bring the second one up to put in those criteria when it gets to say 20 or something, so that you at least to break even. I don't know. I still have a problem thinking about that. A lot of people say, let the criteria for your trade win out, but I've never known anybody going broke by not losing money. So if you can get a scale off and get your stop to break even, seems to me like that's a good solution. I really need to get this my other responsibilities kind of on the back burner here. It looks like we just got through with another meeting, so it looks like it's going to slow down a bit. I need to get my back testing up where I can see the advantage of that, scale out or not. I think we'll go with back to our 2-lot trade. I also need to get the 2-lot trade on Jigsaw brackets set properly so I can keyboard as opposed to mouse. Click chart trading. Yes, keyboarding is a lot faster and a lot more efficient, I believe. So we'll see how the two lots trade here. I'm gonna not be too gung ho. Something else I wanted to do was look at the I want to look at the NQ. Whoop, just one Q maybe is enough. NQ select. I'm going to go with 1 minute. And we're going to throw a, wow, look at that mess. And we're going to throw a ATR on this. I want to see something. Have a shoe range enabled, show value. Okay. Boom, bitty boom. I don't know what periods to do, but let's do it. So we're talking an average 2 range on the 1 minute chart back 14 minutes of 4.2. 4.2 points. And we're open. And there we have it. This new charting now is a little bit confusing to me. You can just see how the value area high and low lines are here. And if we blow this up a little bit, it's a little easier to see and figure out where our swing is. And then you see the new volume colors being built in. Wow, and a lot of volume pumping out there in a hurry. Whoop, whoop, whoop. We don't want to do that. We want to do this. And TPO. What the hell is that? I didn't want to do that at all. I want to do that. Okay. So here's our new TPO chart right smack dab in the middle of the range, middle of value. We tested higher to VWAP. And again, we may just be looking at a trading range here. Open auction. POC's just jumped up. This is POC, this is VWAP, and this started recalculating when this reset at the market open. That's why there's a difference here. And there's a 1 missing here. So this is 13,660, obviously, not 3660. ES is coming back a little bit. Buyers are in here a little bit. This is just kind of flat. Not much conviction there. On the cumulative delta. Consolidation, which way is it going to go? Coiling up that spring, building energy. Looks like up, huh? Well, they're going to test up to that VWAP, and then who knows what they're going to do. There's the overnight POC. There's our close. Settlement's at 13,683. Right here. So there's our settlement. And here is the volume profile from the overnight and our new daytime volume profile being built over here. So we're just banging off the overnight or the Globex POC at this point. Heavy traffic over here. I can shut this off if I choose to do so. Right there. Oop. And we still have the volume profile from our Globex volume profile settings indicator. So I kind of, yeah, there we go. Darn it, I was thinking about that breakout. Not focused properly. Buyers are definitely in control, but we're just coming up to that right now settle. We just touched settlement and immediately pulled back. So will we be able to take that out, take out that Globex high, or are they going to come back across that range? Yeah, I could just keyboard these my lot sizes there. On Jigsaw, I can also do the same over here. on Tradovate, if you see a little keyboard there controlled by this H, that means you can hotkey on this chart. But you have to have the focus on the chart. If it's off the Tradovate platform, and you'll notice how Jigsaw is now grayed out, that means I can type all I want, nothing going to happen. But if I go like that, now the hotkeys, the keyboard's active there. Now back over here. So, boys, you took it to settlement, and here you come. What are you going to do now? What are you going to do now? We have no excess here at the bottom, where our lows right on volume area profile. Value area low, sorry. Well, there's our days. The last 1, 2, 3, 4 days. We're going to go up. We're going to go down. We're going to make a new high. That is the question. Of course, with every trade, the probability of the very next trade is 50-50. It doesn't matter how many back tests you've done, what your back test expectancy or probability is, win rate, whatever. The probability of the very next trade is 50-50. So you see what context looks right. You have perhaps a physical. Normally, for example, normally I would have a resting order at VWAP, and I'm pretty glad I did. Pretty glad I didn't. For a buy, expecting a bounce. Looks like we're going to trade straight across this to perhaps the value area low, as quite frequently they'll trade across value. They've explored to the top side didn't get too far, and now they would want to explore to the bottom, to the lower side. That would be my guess. ES is selling off again. Same thing happened over there. Brought it up to VWAP and whoop, jerked the rug out from under it. Now we bounced. Oh, there we go. Value area just jumped up. POCs remained. That's pretty funny. That this was POC. We touched POC, bounced off, which pulled up our value area low, and our POC moved up to this area. Now now it's come back down, and POC is now dropped again, and so has the value area. That says to me that we have a very low we have a pretty thick book here, but that would suggest to me that there's lower than normal volume for it to move so quickly and dramatically like that. They brought it right down to half back from yesterday and took it the other way. Now, when the market starts observing these very visual references, that's a good sign that we're dealing with short time frame traders rather than larger, heavier hands. So we should probably trade across value again. It's just an awful narrow range for me to get all gung-ho here and participate. Well, they're bringing it closer together now. That's even worse. Right to the value area low. Oh, value area high. And we have exactly an open auction in range, just a little bit above value. There's our value area here, this green. Real small range yesterday. And we're still stuck in the middle of it. So there you have it. There you have it. That's one hell of a wick over here on the ES, huh? $5 points or something. I would think they're going to try this to the top side to take out the overnight high and put in that look for another all-time high, but it is risk off. Looks like a little bit lighter volume, obviously, so far. And they're having a pretty hard time. There we go. I think somebody got through settlement there. Oh, big pop on the ES. Something must have happened. Looks like news driven. Oh, definitely. Well, that's disappointing. That was the one to grab there. Huh. Not sure just what that was about, but the Tradovate news feed I don't find to be particularly helpful. This is more like opinion rather than current live news. I would guess that this move here was probably based on something that happened. At yeah. There's that overnight high. And our all-time high is somewhere out here. Guess that overnight high is the all-time high by just a skosh. A whisker. So, what's our 5-minute look like here? I guess it's forgetting to draw the value volume profile here. Not sure what's up with that. You can see we're just thrashing around on the open or the close. Now we've just gone negative by 1/100%. Well, that sucks. What is going on here? That's the range. That's the 5-minute. That's the daily. There we go. I can't really decide whether I think this has got buyers committing here or not. Let's try a trade and see what the hell happens. They kind of struggled up there. Not feeling too rosy about this, but I would like to make a trade. Now they're going to chop it around. Something else about the Tradovate platform. For example, this bracket right here, okay? If I put 2 contracts, 10 contracts, whatever, it's going to, they will have the identical bracket. So there's no scale out or any scale off or anything like that, but you don't have to worry about putting your amount in there. If I put 2 contracts, they'll both have the exact same 32 stop, and they'll have this same lower bracket, break even to 21, etc. But this is a consolidation area there, and they're not wanting to take it any higher. And I'm not gonna, I don't think, get involved in that. Just at the bottom of value area there, the value area high. And POC has just moved up. POC has just moved up here now, so quite possibly we could trade across it to VWAP, or their intention may be to move this value up, get out of our range here. And you see we have a poor high over here with no excess, and we're at the same area there now. So they keep moving the value area up. Just moved up again. The POC is the point of control. That is the point where the most contracts have been traded. So that's the most accepted price so far. Obviously, the stupidest place you can trade from, because you talk about probability of 50-50 either way. That's exactly it. It's a little high kurtosis here with very little low volume to the the value area is higher with the kurtosis at the top end. But I mean, talk about 50-50. That's what the POC is all about. Not a asymmetrical trade location. If the POC was down here someplace and you could take a short, well, you know that if it goes 2 ticks above this line, you're wrong. And you can target down to the lower one, so you could get several points. Now we might break out and get some shorts, stops up there. They just are having a hard time making that move. I don't know why. I don't know why, but I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go with that and think that they're going to take that high. We got the ES, we're short one. Long one, excuse me. We've got buyers in. That's just above the high of the all-time high. So we might get some Might get some stop movement up there. And we could also get stopped out. So we don't know. We had a little bit of profitability there, but not much. Certainly would think that we could get the new high of the day, but it may come down and get us here at this consolidation area. May make sense to move the stop just under this POC. Adjust that bracket a little bit. Oh, boys, are you going to make it? We're long one, and who the heck knows, huh? It'll go up or it'll go down. Still haven't put any real excess over there. I'd say this is definitely a 50-50 trade here. Whether we're going to get anything out of this or not is another story. Now my big question comes into, do I move that stop up to break even? Which can be done just like this right here. Break even and a tick. Oh, well, you see, while I was doing that, it moved to our 5-point break even. Now it's going to continue to go, and probably we'll get our 10-point target. Did you see that, how that worked? I want to point that out. Just as I was moving my stop to break even and a tick, to demonstrate that on Jigsaw, we hit our 22 ticks profit. And so this moved to 21. Our stop moved up to 21, and then it pulled back and we were stopped out. So we have right there. Well, I wish that would have been 2 contracts. Darn it. That would be no. I'm happy that it I use proper risk management, and it's just not, it's not. They have taken out the the overnight high, so the status satisfied. There's a statistic that 90 varies year to year, but 95+% of the time, the regular trading hours will either take out the overnight high or the overnight low. Now we're going to get a run here. The ES is going up, and they're going to try to push it up to a little higher there. And so that stat has been satisfied. We've taken out the overnight high. Plus, there is I don't know a statistic for it, but it's a commonly understood that the regular trading hours folks don't ever seem to let a all-time high, all-time low, any kind of a major number like that stand in the Globex. They always seem to try to do it themselves. It looks like we're going to get some run to the upside here if the ES gets moving. I'd like to see this thing one time frame. We're got a minute to the bracket change. First 30 minutes. The first 30 minutes just happened. B period. So are they going to keep going up? Are we going to keep one time framing? This would be an area where we would trade value of high volume area to high volume area. Pullback. In other words, buy the pullback. And you see that would have worked perfectly. Pull back, buy the pullback, and up she goes. And we've put in one tick of excess there. So, I don't know what happened down here exactly, but must have moved that a little bit or something happened. I don't know why there's not another, should be another bar there. So we're 2 minutes and 12 seconds. Boy, that was a long time. That's really unusual for me. That's usually under a minute. One trade, what can you say? I'm not sure why all of a sudden typically there's always two. Not sure what's happened here. Oh well. They did update this. They pushed an update through yesterday, I believe it was, and so that might have changed something a little bit. I don't know. Well, the ES is coming back. Buyers are coming in. Looks like the little top in action there. So volume came in. Notice how that volume ramped up. Woo. This is relative volume. That's 20,000 more than usual for that time period. Well, the pullback looks like it's by the dip. It's working again. Damn. I liked it, the first one, because it was just this wick down to our top here, pronounced value area high. Then there was a nice area where nobody wanted to trade, and so you could pretty expect it to go back up into here. But this one here looks pretty goofy. Therefore, I didn't think that going back to the well was probably too good an idea, but it would have taken us out. Would have been a 10-point trade about. And we're trading up. We're green. 1.8 or 0.18%. Everybody's clapping themselves on the back because they put in a new high. And I'm sure they're looking at that 13,800 number, that big round number up there. They just crossed over 7 and they got another 100 to go. Amazing how, 2 months ago they were throwing this thing back and forth 100 points in blink of an eye. Now, what are we going to get here? We're going to get an opportunity for a short down to this value area. Looks so. He who hesitates is lost. That's only 5 points, so it's a little bit tight. A little bit tight. I think you called that a bull flag or something like that, where you have basically a wedge or dropping consolidation area in an uptrend. I think they call that a bull flag. I really don't know. I'm not much of once upon a time I had Steve Nissen's candlestick charting and all those kind of things. And I have come to find that I just kind of like to look at a bigger context about stuff. And the market profile, I got involved in that a few years back and studied that quite a bit. So I have a good understanding of how that works. And that gives me a nice perspective. And the KISS principle, not the rock band, but the acronym, or whatever they were. I guess KISS was rock. I don't know. I don't think I was ever too much into their music. Definitely consolidation and building there. Now, what I'm assuming is going to happen here before too long is that value area is going to jump up there, followed in hot pursuit by the POC. And they will be what is referred to as moving, taking value higher, building higher. So we'll see. Right now, you see here is the market profile, and here's the market profile from before. Value area is right here. So we tested down into it, and now we're trading up. This is the POC from previously. This is an untested volume area POC. Yeah, well, I guess the bull flag's going to be a bull flag, or whatever that is. I had to listen to myself, and I'd have another trade on. I wonder at what point will the VWAPs catch up. This is 683. This VWAP started calculating at the beginning of the Globex. This one starts when the session resets. Oh, there we go. Breakout upside. Well, boy, I'm just missing this trend. It's hard for me to get on a trend. I like to short more, and I like everything. It's hard for me to get on an uptrend. I sat there and talked about it and still didn't do it. Stupid. And the ES is still holding strong. Buyers are in. But you see, ES hasn't even gotten back to the close yet from yesterday. Regular trading hours session, whereas the NASDAQ has done that and then some. I don't normally trade breakouts, so I'm not good at that. And I'm not into catching the knife, even though it's, looks like we could be doing a little pullback here, at least down to this value area somewhere, this consolidation. This wick right there, wick test. But I'm not real confident about that, and I want to get this step 2 taken care of and out of the way and get onto the pro account. So I want to be extremely cautious and risk aware. Yep, there's that value or that wick test. Now, is it going to bouncy, bouncy, bouncy? Very, very, very low volatility today compared to these past few months, weeks. So they brought it right down to that wick test volume area, and look like they're going to try for another top there. They bring it back and reload, and away they go. So value area is overlapping to higher on the profile. The value area, overlapping a little bit and higher. And there we go for the new high. So that's just definitely uptrending. We're one-time framing up. So I hope everyone is having a good trading morning or trading day wherever you are in the world. I wish I would have had a little more risk-on attitude here. This is obviously well, here's a perfect example. Had I not had that bracket set up, it hasn't come back. It hasn't put two ticks of heat on my entry. And we're now up 10, 20, 30, going for 40 points. That's what I've got to figure out. Those brackets are great in the scalp frame, but definitely limit you to the bigger moves. And that's a perfect example. This trade right here is a perfect example. There's my entry. $92. Okay, 4 ticks. Call me a liar for 4 ticks. This bottom of this wick was 4 ticks of heat, and it hadn't looked back. Also, the pullback on the. Now, this looks good because it looks like a pullback to the value, bounce off value area high, but the value area high wasn't there. It was down here. When we were talking about this being a bull flag. So, can I just get in that thing and let it ride? Yeah, that's what I don't know. Have to figure that out. Get the pace of the market. See the market clearly. It's an uptrend. That's pretty clearly. 1 time frame and higher on the profile. Definitely finding acceptance higher here. Just not good at that. Need to develop that. Now I think, okay, well, here's a pullback to this value area. Shall I go long? But that's right at the top. That's like going along the top. That's hard for me to do. That's the hard part I have with these kinds of trend days. Ups or downs, either one. Down, I seem to have more luck with, or more skill with. Probably the proper way to have traded this without brackets, long 2 or long 1. When it pulled back to here and started up, add another one, bring your stop up here. I guess would be the management for that. But that's how you make the money. Is take more asymmetrical trades where your winners contribute more to your P&L, significantly more than your losers. That way, if you've watched the Holy Grail video that I posted, that first part, I still haven't done the conclusion, but the first part, that tool I used near the end of that video there that I built, is real clear how you can manage the probability and your occurrences to trade, your risk by lots, contract or trade size and product. And that tool helped me out a lot to visualize. I guess I'm not as conceptual as I am, more of a visual person. It helps me a lot to see that. So feel free to have a look at that video. Subscribe if you have not and found this channel to be valuable, or to add value to your trading or entertaining or whatever. Seems what I read, the more subscriptions and the more thumbs up you get on a channel, the more it's advertised or shown to others by Google, by YouTube, so that more people then have an opportunity to pass by, and hopefully the community will turn into something that's active and dynamic, that would be great. Well, 20 past the hour. It's 23:20 here in Southeast Asia. I'd like to get another reasonably good trade off here, but pretty much of an uptrend. Whether we could get a correction back to here or not from this from across this volume, I don't know. Buyers are still pretty much in control here. And no sooner that I say that, and it probably will do exactly that. Hucking right at that 2 standard deviations. You'd think they're gonna. Oh, look at there! They brought the POC and the value area high right to the top. Well, I would say this thing is gonna grind higher. Definitely overlapping higher now. No excess on the top. Over here on the volume profile. The market profile definitely has all excess. What's my net? 103. Okay. Well, the slow grind to the top, a little trading range, and what a talk about suicide between just below value area high and on the POC. Yuck. Not my kind of trading. I like the NASDAQ a month ago when it was just flying, when you were getting. I enjoy that volatility. This is more typical. However, so we're going to see what happens here in the next few minutes. Jeez, it moved again. They're definitely pulling themselves up by the boots here. They are walking it higher. If I was a brave boy, I'd say that was a training range, and I'd take that POC to the upside there. But even if you got this whole bitty range here, what are you talking about? Is it 5 points? Yeah, just barely. Just barely 5 points. Easier to see this way, I guess. So looks a little bigger that way. Optical illusions, huh? That is a definite zipper or chop zone or consolidation area, whatever you want to call it. And a lot of times I would be shorting that right there, thinking, okay, we're going to break down here across this from this high volume area down to this next one and the wick and such. But then I would get slapped and it would trade back up to the top. Then I would realize that I should have been working the range back and forth. That's why I'm not participating here, and it's probably going to go down. But ES is coming off a little bit. So no sooner than I said that, of course, there it goes. Down to that wick area. I'm having trouble not yawning here. I guess I'm tired. It's been a long day. That wick brought just basically to this wick test here. Now what are we going to get? Now if you put that trade bracket on, now looks a hell of a lot looks a hell of a lot more spread out with that range at 5 ticks. One minute to the hour. On the bottom of the hour, market's been open for an hour. We've set a new all-time high. We've taken out the Globex high, so the stat has been satisfied. And who knows what they're going to do. So here's that trade. The likely add spot. and this stop, just keeps going up. I got to get that. Hard for me to trade the trend. To get on and hang on, hook in and hang on. Oh well, $100 is better than a sharp stick in the eye. Now we're going to break down, or are we in a trading range, or what are we going to do here? Are we going to pull this thing back to VWAP? I don't think so. I think they're readjusting their inventory and reloading the guns, and they're probably going to take it a little bit higher. Mainly because there's no real excess on the top of this value area. They haven't really had any price exploration above to see if it's been accepted or not. Value area highs smack on the high of the day. So in terms of the auction principle, there should be rotation and auction higher. And looks like we're going to get some of that now, perhaps. Quite a consolidation going on the ES over here. Real sharp kurtosis and small profile in general and narrow value area. Well, I am not going to trade on the POC. I'm yawning. So I believe I am going to I'm probably going to take it up higher again here now. It's hard for me to do that. I think by nature I am more of a short seller. I think I short much easier than I go long. I don't know what that says about me as a person. I don't think. There we go. There's that stop. Little stop run up there, a little bit of excess. Would have been the one to sit on. I like the grids at 10. It gives me more realistic perspective, I think. The price column there and 10-point grid. Well, they traded back now. Back to the VWAP. Probably not. POC, probably. The slow area down here, likely. Likely that I won't stay around to see it, though. And here's going to come down to the POC, I'm guessing. And we're in the C bracket. I like that color. I got to change that. Hard to see against the black for me. Kind of jumpy, not much movement, not much for me to trade. I like a little bit more movement, volatility. And therefore, I'm going to wish you all the best of luck, best of trading. Go forward and profit. And remember, your goal as a trader is to be able to trade tomorrow. Risk management and trade management are two components of the Holy Grail. Absolutely. All the indicator noise, everything you hear from other people, that's just that, noise. But from real traders, live trading, risk management is it. Go look at that watch that video there on the first video on the Holy Grail, and have a look at the ladder down it. Go watch through to the end and really look at that tool and see the points that are illustrated there. It's pretty irrefutable. I've got my commitment to not trade off stream, so I'm always hesitant to shut this off too soon. And then if I happen to pop open a browser and see something happening, I don't trade because I've committed not to do that. I find it frustrating when people do. And I wish I was a breakout trader, because this looks like maybe something to do here. The ES is just can't get across value area high to save its life. Right here. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bam, bam, bam. Knocking on heaven's door there, huh? Knocking on heaven's door. We've got some consolidation going on here in the NASDAQ right at the value area high. Again, as usual. And I'm going to let discretion be the better part of valor here and not throw on any trades or try to stay up and force one. I think I'm going to sign off for the day. Trade safe, manage your risk, take care of yourself, wash your hands. I hope you and your family are healthy, and that we all take this journey together here and find the peace of mind and the relaxation that consistent profitability can bring. I know that it can. I've experienced it before. It's definitely a great feeling. And I'm sure that I will achieve that same state or ability in this futures trading. So have a good one. I am going to end the stream at this point. Should be on hopefully tomorrow around the Asia close, London open, and then again for the regular trading hours. It's the schedule I try to make, but I've had competing meetings and obligations here with the Chinese New Year's Friday, so starts Friday, so there'll be things going on, I guess. But I will definitely be around for the don't think I have any meetings tomorrow night. Anyway, trade safe, trade conservatively, manage your risk, manage your money, make sure that you are able to trade tomorrow.